what we are going to try to understand in this video is the balance of payments. And it's really how a country accounts for the different ways that money is flowing into the country, or payments are happening into a country, or payments are happening outside of a country. And right over here I have information for the United States in 2011. All of the numbers right over here are denominated in dollars. And in green I have all of the reasons why currency, or why payments would be made to the U.S., either the government of the U.S., the Federal Reserve of the U.S., or to citizens of the U.S. And in orange, I have all the reasons why payments would be made to folks outside of the U.S., either the governments, central banks, or private citizens. And for this video, I'm going to first focus on the left hand, these reasons right over here. And this you could view, this is the current account. The current account. And the current account focuses on things related to trade, so exports and imports, things related to income in that period. So if I'm getting dividends from a stock that's a German company, or if someone in Germany is getting dividends from a stock, it's an American company, and just transfers of money. I give money to my mom in France to help support her. So that's what's factored in the current account. In the next video, we will talk about the capital account. The capital account, which focuses on transfers or payments that are due to changes in ownership of assets. And we'll see how they all balance out, either in the next video or maybe the video after that. But let's first focus on the current account. So in green, I've had all the reasons why the U.S. got payments from the rest of the world in 2011. So the first one right over here is exports. You could imagine if we are exporting, and this is in billions, so this is 2,105 billion, which is the same thing as 2.1 trillion. If we're exporting $2.1 trillion worth of goods and services, then the rest of the world is going to have to pay that much to us. So this is going to be an inflow. This is going to be a payment. This is a reason why we have more dollars after all the appropriate currency transactions take place, why more dollars have to come to the U.S., either to U.S. private citizens, to the government, or to the Federal Reserve. And for the most part, this is going to be for private citizens or corporations. And this right over here is income that Americans get from owning assets abroad in other countries. So imagine that I'm an American citizen. I own an apartment complex in London. The folks in London have to pay rent on that. I convert that rent to dollars and I bring it back to the U.S. That would be an income receipt to me. It's the reason why currency or payments are being made to the U.S. And so once again, that's why I've colored these right over here in green. Now let's think about the other side of that coin. Obviously, we're not just selling stuff to the rest of the world. The rest of the world is selling stuff to us, and that's what imports are factoring in. And the U.S. actually runs a trade deficit. It imports more than it exports, to the tune, if we want it around, of about $2.7 trillion. And once again, if we're buying other people's goods and services, we need to make payments to them. Currency needs to go to them. And so you see it's to the tune, and that's why I wrote it right over here, of in orange. And once again, income payments, other side of income receipts. This is foreigners owning assets in the United States. If a foreigner owns a pizza parlor in the United States, that pizza parlor makes $100,000 in a given year, then that $100,000 will go to that foreigner. It will be an income payment. And so that's what this factors in right over here. This is income on foreign-owned assets. It does not go to an American. It does not go to the American government, a private citizen, a corporation, or the Federal Reserve. It goes to someone outside of the country. And so this would be an outflow, a payment outside of the country. And so this last part right over here, this is net transfers. This is literally just on a net basis, Americans giving money away to the rest of the world. And it actually, since Americans give away more than they receive from the rest of the world, we're not talking about transaction. This is kind of just pure, I'm an American citizen. I give money to my mom in France, or this could even be foreign aid, the U.S. government giving aid to a country. And since the U.S. does give more than it receives, we just write it down on a net transfer basis, and it is right over here a net outflow. And so we can figure out, looking at this, well, just based on these causes, the trade deficit, the income receipts, and the net transfers, whether the U.S. is transferring more currency abroad or getting more currency onto, I guess you could say, into its ownership. And to do that, let's get our calculator out. Let me get the calculator out. And so let's think, okay, so this is all of the money that we are getting. These are the payments, these are the inflows to the US. So let's add those up. 2,105 billion plus 739 billion. And now let's subtract out all of the outflows of capital, or I should say all of the outflows of currency from the US, all of the payments that go out of the US. So let's subtract. So the payments we have to make due to imports, so 2.7 trillion, and then we have the 518 billion of income that foreigners make on US assets, and then finally, or foreign-owned assets of the US, or in the US, I should say, and then the money that the US just gives away to the rest of the world on a net basis. And you see here, when you just look at the current account, the US is running a current account deficit. For just these causes alone, the US is making more payments than it is receiving. And it's to the tune of $474 billion. So let me write it right over here. So our current account deficit is to the tune, I already forgot the number, $474 billion. If that number was positive, I would call it a current account surplus.